Alright guys, it is Kieran from Red Devil Weekly and we're live. We're live on a day which has brought up so many different storylines, so many different ridiculous bits of news are coming out in the football world. But today, what concerns Manchester United most is Harry Maguire. Now, something that I was not expecting at all. I thought Harry Maguire, to be honest with you, I thought he wasn't going to get charged, I thought he was going to get off. But in the end of the day, he got found guilty of three different, charged anyway with three different things and found guilty from a court. Doesn't actually mean that he's been, it's actually, I don't know the exact thing with the law, but I know that if you've been charged, it's not the same thing as being guilty of it. But at the same time, it's not looking good, to be fair. It's not looking good. I know they said they're going to appeal it, but I think one of the charges is attempted bribery. Repeated attempted bribery, they said, aggravated assault and resisting arrest as well. So those are the three things that Harry Maguire has been charged with, and he's been given a 21-month and 10-day suspended sentence. So not the best way to start the day really for Manchester United fans hearing that news. But ultimately, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of very, very shocked when I heard the news. I didn't think he was going to be found guilty. I thought he was going to be cleared of all charges. So I don't know what happened with that. Welcome to K1 Football Live. Thanks for joining. Footy Live. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's a weird situation. A situation which is kind of uncharted territory for Manchester United, at least in the last 10 years or so. Obviously, you've had Wayne Rooney and Roy Keane get themselves into hot water, but the club captain, Harry Maguire, coming in only having one season in the club as captain, and now already his place as captain is under fire. But this is why we're having the debate, and this is why I'm getting you guys involved. And I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on whether Harry Maguire should stay as Manchester United captain or not. What should happen to Harry Maguire? What needs to happen? Do you back him? Do you think he is guilty like they say? Let me know in the comment section, and I will be calling people up to give their thoughts. Ryan, thanks for joining. Ryan McSwiggan, thanks for joining, mate. Appreciate it. Is he suspended? I don't think he's suspended. He's not suspended of what I know. I think that basically he's been charged with these things. But I don't think he's actually been suspended from the club. He's been taken out of the England squad. That's something else I was going to mention. He's been removed from the England squad that was only actually announced at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So Harry Maguire was in the England squad for all of 3 hours pretty well. So yeah, it's not been a great day for Harry Maguire, but I believe, this is my opinion, I will be getting your thoughts in the live chat also if you want to call in as well. My thoughts on it personally, just have an opening statement from me, is that I feel like the Greek police have stitched him up massively. My opinion on it is that the Greek police have stitched him up massively. Now, there's some people out there who don't want to, say that because obviously it's like libel and stuff. But for me, I think the Greek police have made stuff up. I think they've embellished. I think they've said things which, I just feel like there's a lot more to this story than what meets the eye and what's been said in the papers and what's being said by the Greek police. I really do think they've stitched him up. I mean, I'm going to say this though. Partly, he's got to take some responsibility for the way he was in that situation in the first place. Kevin, thanks for joining, Kevin. Appreciate it, mate. He says, love it. Love is it. I love Man United, mate. We all love Man United, and it's a difficult situation right now, really. But who knows? But Messi might come. So all's good. But anyway, we'll get onto that in due course, I'm sure. But yeah, I was just going to say that the fact that Harry Maguire was in that situation in the first place is something that he's going to have to look at in the future. The fact that he went to a popular holiday destination, which is really full right now of people, because it's one of the only places you can go to and not have to do the 2-week quarantine period. So a lot of people right now are going there for the summer holidays, which means you get a lot more kind of drunk punters, a lot more people who are, wanting to cause a little bit of trouble, or, getting a bit too happy, a bit too off their face. And, when you have people like that, you never know what's going to go down. So yeah, for me, Harry Maguire shouldn't be in that position. I feel like obviously he just wanted to have a good time with his mates, and you understand it, but obviously Mykonos might not have been the best place for him to go, and probably he'll reflect on that and agree. But I do think he's been stitched up royally here. I think he's been stitched up. Ryan said the sister was drugged and Maguire and his brother rebelled. What was he supposed to do? Well, exactly. Footy Live says Premier League will make an announcement soon on Maguire. And he also says, I don't get how they don't know who Harry Maguire was. The police, by the way, yet they shouted at him, his career is over. Exactly. If they didn't know who Harry Maguire was, how would they say, oh, your career is over when kicking them in the shin or whatever? I don't know what to believe, to be honest. I really don't know what to believe. But that's my opening statement. For me, I feel like Harry Maguire should be backed by the club. I think we should get behind him, because I truly believe that what is being reported is not true. I mean, maybe it's just because it's cognitive dissonance. I don't want to accept it, therefore I just ignore it. But I just feel like the Greek police, of what I've heard from different people, they're not the most reliable sources of information, and they've been liable to take bribes and do this sort of thing and be corrupt. I can't know for sure, and I'm saying that I can't know for sure, it's just allegedly, but apparently they've been known to do that. So for me, I just feel like it's probably not what it says on the tin. And I mean, Gareth Southgate included Harry Maguire in the England squad, and I think that says a lot about the situation, that Gareth Southgate went on a phone call with Harry Maguire and included him in the England squad, and yet because the guilty verdict's come out, he's been taken out now. But I feel like that phone call, the fact that Gareth Southgate had the phone call, Maguire told him what happened, and then he's been released from the England squad, I think it says a lot about the situation, in my opinion. It says a lot. But that is my opening statement. For my opinion, I feel like I don't think he should be stripped of captain. I don't think he should be stripped of captain. I think it'll be difficult for him to keep captain, but I don't believe he should be stripped of it. But that is my overall opinion. I'm going to ask your opinions, guys, on the matter about Maguire, and then maybe we'll talk about some other stuff. I know that some of you will want to talk about Lionel Messi potentially joining Manchester United, all this kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to get my headphones, guys, and then we'll be back. So yeah, get your thoughts ready, and I'll get ready with the first caller. Okie dokie, lads. Okie dokie. Right. Now, oh God, I'm going to get someone on. I promised I'd get on first to talk a bit about Harry Maguire, and then also to talk a little bit about transfers as well. So I'll give him a call. You guys might already know what I'm talking about, but I did promise I'd get him on first. So let's do that. Okay. Let's get into position. I'll do one. Okie dokie, right. Let's do this. Let's get him on. We'll give him a call. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. I've heard a lot of different opinions on social media today about Harry Maguire, what should happen to Harry Maguire. So I want to hear what you guys think, because you guys, as I said before, are the most important people when it comes to this channel and giving your opinion. But Tom, mate, thanks for coming on, mate. Appreciate it. Very much appreciate your watching and supporting the stream as always. But thanks for coming on, mate. How are you doing?
It's been a stressful day, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. I can imagine so much stuff is breaking right now in the football world with transfers and the Harry Maguire situation. But on the Harry Maguire situation, obviously you know the score. It's all over social media. He's been found guilty of 3 different charges, charged with aggravated assault, persistent bribery, and resisting arrest. Now, the question I want to ask you is, and the question on everyone's lips, do you think that Harry Maguire should be stripped of the Manchester United captaincy, or do you think we should back him?
I think we should back him. Like we said, a couple of years ago with what happened with such as Eric Cantona, that was live over national TV, so we could see what actually happened. With this, we don't even know what's happened, because what I don't get is there's no CCTV, there's nothing. It's just he said, she said this. It's pretty much like that. And, the Greek police are saying this, and Harry and his family are saying that. And I just think I don't think we should strip him of it now, because at the end of the day, if this was, say, Liverpool, for example, would they strip Jordan Henderson the captaincy? I don't think they would. And like I say, he's your player at the end of the day. We, like everybody said, we love Man United and stuff, and we support the club. He's been made the captain, so you support your team, you support your players. And Harry Maguire is our player still right now, so you support him. I don't get it. In sickness or in health, or dying death or deathbed or anything. You still support them. But I think, like I said in the comments about that, the case has got so much holes in it. It's unreal. It's got so many. Like I said in the comments, the Greek police didn't know who Harry Maguire was. Yet they shouted at him while he was kicking his head in and kicking his shins, saying, "Your career is over." I don't particularly get that, but they don't know who he is. Yeah, you might not know who he is on a personal level, but you're telling me you don't know the club called Manchester United in the football world? Very, very hard to not believe that.
Yeah.
Whether you're from Greece or whether you're from, Alicante, wherever, it doesn't matter. I think the football club Manchester United. But it's got so many holes in it. It's unreal. It's like a sieve. It's got that many holes in it, to be honest. But when I saw the news actually breaking, I was like, guilty. I don't really get that, because you put this crime in. Say if this was in England, in a nightclub in England, for example, it'd take months. It's taken him a couple of days. But I think leaving the country. When Harry Maguire left Greece, I think he was a guilty man. And the reason why I say that is because this morning his lawyers went into the courtroom and said, "We want an adjournment." And the Greek judge stated straight away, "We're not postponing it, it's happening today." Everything is happening today. The trials happened today. Evidence was put forward. Verdicts happened today, and sentencing's happened today. Everything has happened today for some reason, and I don't get that, because this is serious. Let's be honest. Bribing somebody is a massive crime.
Of course.
If that's in England, that's a massive crime. But to be honest with you, I don't really get anything of this, because if that's your sister, put yourself in Harry Maguire's shoes. You're going to want to do something about it. Let's be honest. But. I can give you a quick run through of everything that I actually know about it and that.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
Well, pretty much. Harry Maguire, two Albanian individuals which have been unidentified as of right now, have pretty much injected Harry Maguire's sister with an unknown substance. Tests are being run and everything at the hospital and everything. Harry Maguire and his brother and family, along with his sister, because his sister actually fainted when they was in a nightclub, went straight to a taxi firm and booked a taxi to go to the hospital in Greece. But instead, they was taken to a police station, and belief is that Harry Maguire straight away and his family got out of a taxi and said, "Look, our sister, she's in a terrible way. She's, could probably die. It's that serious, And then pretty much what's happened is they've goaded such as Harry Maguire by stating, this is our country, you're in our country, this is how we do things here, and yada, yada, yada. And pretty much Harry Maguire's taken offence to it and said, look, what are we doing here? My sister's going to die here, and, you're pissing about for time here, and you're taking me to a police station instead of a hospital. And pretty much what's happened is they've then attacked Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, you've got to think, and these police officers, they weren't in full uniform. They were plainclothes officers, if you know what that is, undercover officers in Mykonos. And they've put him in a taxi, taken him to somewhere random, which is a police station, which oh yeah, funnily enough, doesn't have any CCTV cameras, and pretty much grabbed hold of him, pushed him against the car, started kicking him and punching him. Harry Maguire doesn't know that these are police officers, and neither does his family. So he's thinking in his head right now, hey, I'm getting mugged here by people that I don't even know. So obviously you're going to retaliate back. But I don't, and that's pretty much what's happened. Harry Maguire's retaliated. Everything's gone up in flames. He's been arrested, and then pretty much they've stated that, he's essentially tried to bribe us. He's essentially, attacked us for no reason. I don't believe in you attack somebody for no reason. There's always a reason, and this is the reason. And I think obviously I tweeted it a couple of minutes before it actually came out. Well, I didn't tweet about it, but I sent it to a couple of our group chats. That Harry Maguire, that there was going to be a appeal straight away from his lawyers and solicitors, and there will be an appeal, 100%. Harry Maguire's going to fight this. He's going to fight this with all his heart and his family, because not only is this giving him a bad name, not just in football, this is in life. A criminal record is severe enough, and something like this, it can stop him from playing in such as a World Cup and stuff. You got to think Harry Maguire, he's still young. So he's got plenty of things to do. He wants to play such as World Cups and stuff, and playing all these European nation. But when you go into a country, if you're not legally obliged to go into that country because of your criminal past, you can be refused entry. So this is going to affect his life ultimately. And I do pour my heart out for him, because if I was in that situation, I'll be honest, I probably would have done the exact same. But I think if this was in England and this had happened, it wouldn't even get to this far. It had been brushed aside straight away.
Oh, exactly.
I think the officers would have been suspended straight away. Not even pending investigation. Done. You're out the door. And it's not because he's a football player, because this probably happens week in, week out with just normal people like, say, me and you, Kieran. It's only the exact same. So there's no special treatment because he's a football player. But that's just my take on it. But no, I wouldn't strip him of the captaincy. Even if we did, I can't see Ollie doing it. And I'm not saying that because Ollie's a nice guy or anything, but we need to back our player here. He is our player. I think people are forgetting this. He is our player. You back your player. Any other club would do it. If it was anybody, say if it was De Bruyne at Manchester City, do you think they'd throw him under the bus? No. They wouldn't throw him under the bus. They'd back him. So, but that's just my thoughts on it anyway.
Yeah, well, I think you made some good points there. Obviously, you gave us the inside knowledge that. I wasn't aware of the kind of substance being injected. I obviously the original story came out. It was about someone stabbing his sister with a sharp object, and obviously I think almost you could argue the injecting them with some sort of chemical or whatever it was. I think that's more severe and more dangerous than a sharp object, because obviously if you've been stabbed with a sharp object or whatever and it's non-fatal, at least you know where you stand. But if you've been injected with something, it could be anything, and it could take a little bit of a while before it actually kicks in, and potentially if it's really bad, destroys your body. So yeah, it's a frustrating situation, really. It's a frustrating situation. Obviously you think that he shouldn't be stripped of the captaincy, and I'd have to agree with that. A few people in the comments getting their thoughts in as well. Red Manx TV, thanks for joining. He says, wow, what a story, mate. Back Maguire, in my opinion. So he also wants to back Harry Maguire. Sifo's joined. Thanks for joining, Sifo, mate. Appreciate it. Bet you think you're getting messy as well, pal. But we'll see about that, eh? He says, United are finished. Don't worry, Fernandes is willing to take care of all the penalties given to Maguire. Listen, so Fernandes, I bet Fernandes would get him off the case. If he was taking the penalties, he would get him off the case. He's so good at penalties. As you know, Sifo, he's so good. As we said, we don't care. We don't care. Bruno Fernandes, I reckon he's the best penalty taker in Europe right now. But anyway, that's a different debate. Kasim saying, what happens if he gets sentenced for 21 months? Well, he's been given a suspended sentence, by my understanding, of 21 months and 10 days. But because a suspended sentence is obviously different to a prison sentence, because a suspended sentence basically means you're free to go, but if you in that period, if you commit another crime, then you're going straight into the slammer, which is not great for Maguire. I'm sure he'll obviously, make sure he doesn't put himself in any sort of positions, but it also does mean that he becomes a little bit of an easy target for people to kind of, goad him in that, because they know one more small offence and he's serving time. So yeah, it's not the best thing, but obviously as well, you said that you wouldn't, you'd let Harry Maguire keep his captaincy role. If Solskjaer does decide to take the captaincy off him, which player at United right now is most suited to take up the captain's role?
I'm hearing Bruno Fernandes incoming and all that right now, but I don't believe in that, to be honest with you. I know he's been a captain at Sporting Lisbon, but he's been a less longer than Harry Maguire, for crying out loud. And you're right about giving him the captaincy. I know what he's done for the club and everything, and he does boss people about, but there's having a vice captain as having a captain. And for me, I would put him at vice captain. You've got to have a backup captain, and that's what I'd do. Mourinho had it. He had Ashley Young as his captain, and he had Paul Pogba as the vice captain. And the names just sprung to mind there, and I've just obviously said who I think would be the captain probably. For me, I would go straight in there, and I'd go give it Paul Pogba. To be honest, let's be honest, Paul Pogba is the only player that you could really give it to, either him or Fernandes. David De Gea, I don't think really deserves it with some of the comments that came out with interviews previously, but Paul Pogba, he's been at the club a few years now. Even from being a little boy, he's come through the ranks here and he's won things here, and he's been a captain elsewhere, so I think that he should be given that responsibility and that chance, really.
Yeah, I think, listen, Paul Pogba, it's obviously a popular scenario, a popular choice. Fernandes as well. And to be fair, you could look at what he's done for France as well, the leadership role he played for France, getting them to the World Cup final, and then obviously, really geeing them up. And I think captain's role wouldn't actually be a bad role for him. Maybe, if he does commit his future to the club, that's something that we've been dying to see Paul Pogba actually fully decide, are you going to stay, are you going to go? And if he decides to stay and commit himself to the club, then maybe rewarding him with the captaincy is the best thing. I'm not sure, maybe that's something that Solskjaer's thinking about right now. I'm sure he's got a lot to think about right now, especially with obviously not only the Maguire situation, but the transfer news that's coming out. But we'll get onto that in just a second, because I know you're desperate to talk about what's been going down, the madness that's been going down right now on social media and everything like that. Sifo says, so if he gets into a fight on the pitch, he's back in the slammer. Well, I don't think a fight on... Well, it depends obviously how bad the fight on the pitch gets, but usually skirmishes on the football pitch don't end up in any sort of... it doesn't end up in the police getting involved or anything like that. So I reckon he's fine with that. But if off the pitch he got into another confrontation or whatever, and the police got involved, I mean, it could be anything really. If the police charge him with anything or convict him with anything, then yeah, he's going to prison, because he's or at least in that 21 month and 10-day suspended sentence timescale.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he stays. Well, obviously if they appeal the decision and it get overturned, that's even better. But if it does stand, then hopefully he just doesn't get himself in any other situations. Welcome as well to Akil P. Thanks for joining, mate. I'm not sure, you might be new around here. If you are new around here, Akil, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. He says Pogba, if he signs an extension, should be the captain. I think Bruno came only recently, and he'll always be a leader on the pitch regardless. Pogba deserves it after all the stick he got. Well, agreeing 100% with Tom there, it seems, on who should replace Maguire if he does go. In fact, my opinion, I think, would be very similar. I think I agree with the fact that David De Gea's had a chance at captain, but he did get the captaincy taken off him after a post-match interview after the Newcastle game, where he basically just said the performance was crap, and Solskjaer was like, you're not having a captaincy then, which I'm not sure if I agree with at the time, but I guess that he made that decision and you have to stick by it. So I don't think he's going to go back to him. And then yeah, you look at the team, you look at the fact that most of those players are inexperienced, they haven't played for United that long. Realistically, apart from Pogba or Bruno, I mean, are you giving it to Rashford? I don't see him really being captain material. Martial, Greenwood, again, you couldn't really. I wouldn't see that happening. So it does look like Pogba and Bruno really are the two that's going to be between if Harry Maguire doesn't have the captain in his doesn't have the captain's armband on at the start of next season, which I hope he does, because as I said, I don't feel like he should be taken off him. But you guys in the comments can have different opinions as well, and we'll read out all your comments, don't worry. Sifo says Pogba couldn't captain a small sailboat, let alone a football club. Well, to be fair, he captained France to a World Cup. Well, he didn't captain them, but he showed a lot of leadership in that. A lot of leadership indeed. We might have lost Tom there, I'm not sure. We'll see if Tom's going to come back. Kasim says, Kasai says, I know a guy on YouTube who was on the streets. Wow, man, that's sad. Well, hopefully he's doing all right. Hopefully he is doing all right. I'm not sure. I think Tom just dropped out there. Mate, I'll come back in a bit and just go do something. All right, cool. So Tom's gonna come back on a little bit. Asim, how you doing, mate? Thanks for joining. Really appreciate you, man. Really appreciate Asim. He goes with Pogba as captain. Yeah, it seems like Pogba's the popular choice. It's basically between Pogba and Bruno, as we've already established. And yeah, for me, if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go with Paul Pogba, just because, as Tom said, Bruno Fernandes has only really been here for a flash. He's only been here in a blink of an eye. He's been here for since January to now. So realistically, has he been here long enough to warrant captain? You could argue that Harry Maguire was given captain straight away when he came in, but for me, I don't know. It's a tough situation, but I would much prefer Harry Maguire keep the captaincy. But at the same time, who knows what Solskjaer's going to do in this situation. Sifo says, why isn't Matic in the picture for captain? Man's like 45 years old. Well, Matic is a decent player, but I don't think Matic can really guarantee his place in the team for the next year or so. I don't think he can. And that is probably that's one of the main reasons why I don't think he'll be able to come captain, is because I don't see him being able to guarantee his place. But hey ho. But listen, Tom said he'll come back on in a bit. So yeah, Cassie, mate, if you want to come on, feel free to do so. Yeah, so Tom wants to come on and talk about some transfers as well, so we will be delving into a few transfers as well. LSR Predicts Live, thanks for joining, mate. Can we not use words like shite, by the way? I don't like the use of those words. I'm joking, by the way, I don't really care. Messi is shite, to be honest, I wouldn't want him. Nurse, one of them's escaped. Yeah, Messi's not great, is he? Yeah. Well, actually, to be fair, it wasn't great. It wasn't great in the. It wasn't actually great in the Champions League, so fair enough. But yeah, we're going to talk about Messi now. Actually, let's talk about Messi now. We'll get Kasim on, because I know he wants to have his say on the news and on the debate. So we'll get Kasim on to have his say. Hopefully, Kasim can hear me. Sifo says he was arguably one of your best players after the restart, and it doesn't look like you're going to make any signings, so I see him staying in the team. He probably will, but I don't know. I think for the foreseeable future, it is definitely questionable. And LSR Predicts Live says Everton in talks for James Rodriguez, according to TalkSport. Yeah, well, we all know about TalkSport, don't we? But Cassie, mate, thanks for joining, mate. Really appreciate it. Yeah. I'm also aware that Tom's probably going to be coming back, so I might actually add Tom to the call and just have you two on. Like we did before. But Cassie, mate, thanks for coming on, mate. By the way, I have to apologise for not being able to make your stream, man. I really apologise.
It's fine, bro. It's fine.
No, it was so annoying. I felt so bad because it was literally a last minute thing. They didn't tell me, and it just.
Kieran's okay, bro.
Yeah, sorry about that.
The whole flipping channel, man. The whole flipping channel got deleted. Flipping again. So I have to sort everything out and make another channel. So, this is frustrating me, like, every time. Now, I've sorted everything out, and if this channel doesn't work, then I'll probably just move on and just quit YouTube and then just come on your calls. That's it. But I'm pretty sure this will work. But it's fine, bro. Because you were out, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it was only me and G anyway, so it's fine. I'm going to put it up anyway, so it's fine, bro. It's okay.
Well, yeah, hopefully all that with the channel gets sorted as well, man. Hopefully it does. By the way, welcome Enzo. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. He says, Harry can forget about England and play better for United now. Well, maybe that is a bit of a silver lining. But, of course, they have been left out. He has been left out of the England squad as well. And Sifo here, I'm going to obviously is address Kasim here. I think he spelled that wrong, but anyway, he says, "What happened to Rashford hat-trick in the Europa League semis?" Well, listen, I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask you.
Wait, let me.
I'll ask you the question about Harry Maguire, and then you
sure.
can also answer back to Sifo as well. So obviously, it's the same question I asked Tom. For you, do you think Harry Maguire should keep his role as Man United captain, or do you think it's time that Solskjaer changed it round?
I don't know about this. I don't know about this Maguire news. Up until actually, when was it? Friday evening. So I don't know about the Harry Maguire news up until Friday. When news came out, I didn't know what to think. It was hard. My thoughts on the fridge head. But honestly, man, I feel sorry for him. And now people need to understand this, right? I don't hate human beings unless, like, I have insists on human beings, but this is not a human beings channel. Harry Maguire is a human being that is a Manchester United captain and, leads the team and, is a fraud on the pitch, but outside the pitch, a nice guy. And apparently his sister got stabbed. And I heard what Tom was saying, and he's saying that apparently he's gonna, where was it again? Apparently his sister got stabbed or some shit.
Yeah, I think Tom said that I think his sister got injected with something from 2 Albanian men. I think that's a story that's been reported.
Yeah, this was basically, I think, he got stabbed or something, his sister, with 2 Albanian gangsters that, I think were, targeting people the whole night. That's what I heard. Then apparently, I don't know what happened after, apparently punched like a flipping police officer. And I know a guy on YouTube, as I told you, that I was actually on the streets. But the problem is I have to Instagram DM him to actually find out. So I don't know what he wrote. But he said he was on the streets. He said, come on, DM me. I might DM him, but I don't know. I've told him that, I'm not available sometimes because of the YouTube schedule. Yeah. I don't know what to think, man. Honestly,
I mean, it's difficult. I just think, it is a difficult situation. It's one of those ones where it's hard to know. Obviously, because we don't know the full story, it's hard to make a judgment on that. To be fair, just quickly, Football Crew Show. Thanks for joining as well. Appreciate it. He says, what's happened with Harry Maguire, he shouldn't have bribed the foreign police after what went on. That was out of order. Well, obviously, again, that is kind of conjecture. He's been found guilty of attempted bribery on multiple occasions. Obviously, reportedly he said, "Oh, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" And basically tried to bribe the officers, whatever. But I don't know. Obviously, it's one thing. In my opinion, I think even though all that trial went on and stuff, it's a bit shady how all that happened. Within a day, and they didn't give the defence the opportunity to, they didn't give it the opportunity to kind of prepare a case and wanted to do it on the day. It was all very shady. But go on. Sorry.
I don't think that the fraud himself. Aaron Maguire's a nice guy. I think of course they bribed the officer.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
On Kasim, mate, you still there? Where's Kasim? Oh. I hope he's still there. Cassie, mate, you still there? We'll try and get Cassie back. I can't hear him at the moment. Sifo says get his lawyers and get City's lawyers and he'll be out tomorrow. I'm sure. I'm gonna tell you what. If everyone had City's lawyers, no one would get convicted. I tell you, it's ridiculous what they've got. That sort of firepower they have. Mad. Inzo says the bribe thing is the only big news since he's a football player. I bet half the world lives on bribes. 100%, mate. Exactly. Listen, the amount of high up people in society that bribe people to get off charges is probably ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But hey, that's that. I'm not sure what happened with KSI there. I don't know what happened. What? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Okay, we'll try and get the call back on. But yeah, listen. I mean, Edwin, thanks for joining, Edwin. Appreciate it. By the way, he says hello. Haven't watched in a long time. Been on holiday, man. It's all right, Edwin. It's all right, Edwin. I've seen you on Twitter and stuff, liking some of my stuff. So, mate, it's all love. Thank you so much for tuning in. As we say here, you can never be late and never worry about the fact that you don't watch or anything. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Does not matter to me. If you watch at all, even 10 seconds of my content, it's great. It makes my day. So thank you very much for that, Edwin. Appreciate it. Phil Crucial says thoughts on Southgate dropping Maguire. For me, I just think Maguire. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I feel like Southgate's hand was forced a little bit there. To be fair, I think a lot of people would have had really got him if he didn't let Maguire go from the England squad. So I can see it from that point of view. I'm not angry at any parties, to be honest. I'm not really angry. Oh God, what have I done there? I'm not really angry at Southgate for doing it. I think he, overall in the grand scheme of things, I don't think he made a bad decision there. I think you can understand why he did it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it, really. Yeah, we'll get Tom back on then, I guess. I don't know where Kasim's gone. Inzo says, looks like Sancho's not going to come, and whom are United looking at? Yeah, we'll be talking about that in just a second, because we have our resident transfer expert, Tom, coming on. So that's going to be very interesting when we look at that right now, where we switch the debate over to the transfer debate, the Lionel Messi debate, which I'm sure you guys are going to be excited to get your teeth into. Sifo says, mate, when I was back in South Africa, bribery was part of the policing system. If you had £10 on you, you could get away with anything. Yeah, I'm not surprised that's how it was. I'm not surprised if that's how it was. I think in a lot of countries, that's the way it is. That is the way it is. In a lot of countries, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of high up people in society are bribing people to get away with stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. But we've got Tom, the resident transfer expert, on the channel, and we'll add KSI back as well. But sorry, mate. Obviously, you had to go a little bit there, but we're back, and that's the main thing. You're back here. But I just saw that Inzo really perfectly, introducing the segment, because he said, who are United looking at if Sancho isn't going to come in? Well, we're going to have a bit of an update here as well, with Tom giving us his latest thoughts, and I'm going to try and add KSI as he does give his thoughts. But mate, in terms of the whole, just in terms of Man United transfer news, what have you heard in the last week or so?
The reports from, obviously, the Sancho deal aren't very positive at the moment, but all I can say is just have some more faith. That's all I'll say to fans and everything. The understanding is that, the situation has still pretty much been the same for the past week, and that is that Manchester United are still in contact with, not directly with Bruce Dortmund, with the agent who's brokering the deal, and that it's still the same. You pay 120 million euros. You get the player. If you don't get the player. It's as simple as that. But there's been a lot of talk over the past couple of hours, really, and I tweeted about it probably about an hour ago, I think it was, and it was about Donny van de Beek, and the report were coming out. What I actually got emailed across was that information that Manchester United have contacted Ajax. They have spoken to Edwin van der Sar directly over a possible transfer for Donny van de Beek. He's a player that it came out yesterday, and I can confirm that he prefers a move to the Premier League rather than anywhere else. He doesn't really want to go to Barcelona. The reports that are talking about him possibly going with, such as Ronald Koeman there and stuff, I wouldn't. I put cold water straight over it if I'm being honest. And pretty much, Donny van de Beek is a player United are interested in. He favours a move to the Premier League. Currently, right now, you look at teams who have that, and the fee that's roughly been around touted about is 45 to 50 million. And I think for a player of Donny van de Beek's quality, I think that's actually something very decent, and that's decent business. And you've got to think, in that position, United are looking at such as players like Jack Grealish who are going to cost you 80 million. So, would you prefer to go for somebody who's been to a Champions League semi-final with Ajax, or go for somebody who's barely just kept Aston Villa up in the Premier League? That's obviously a question for a lot of fans. But right now, the noise around Sancho is fairly quiet. Anything else that I update, I'll be on Twitter and everything, tweeting it all out and everything. So if anybody wants to follow my notification, put notifications on for me or whatever, I'll have some updates probably in the next couple of days on that. But with Donny van de Beek, I'd expect a lot of the news to rise in the next couple of days, if I'm being honest, because obviously, I think there's a lot of fans, particularly, that are very angry at the club currently right now because there's not been any business being done. But you're seeing teams like Chelsea are doing like 4 deals at a time, so I think there's a lot of obviously worry, and I like I said, just have a bit of faith with the club. And people are starting to get over the assumptions of, Ollie might be sacked and everything. That's not even being talked about at the moment, so I wouldn't even worry about that. Worry about what's happening now, not maybe down the line. But Donny van de Beek is the main name really at the moment, and I'd probably say it's now behind the scenes. It's being talked more about Donny van de Beek than it is about Jadon Sancho.
That's interesting. That is actually very interesting. Obviously, with Jadon Sancho, everyone kind of thought that was the main target, but it looks like actually it's different according to your information. We have got Kasim back as well, and I will be getting Kasim's thoughts. I do apologise, Kasim, that it did drop out our call or whatever, but obviously we've got both of you on, which is great. But one thing I do want to ask before I do that, we're going to read a few of the comments actually. Enzo says Messi won't be good for United. Maybe David Neres is a better option if the Sancho deal is off. Sifo says rivalries aside, I feel bad for you guys. I'll tell you what, Sifo, mate, I didn't expect you to say that, but I guess we appreciate it. He says Chelsea and us finished below you, and our boards are backing us with signings. I think everyone at United knows that you can break top 2 with your current squad. Or can't break top 2. Yeah, I was going to say can. Yeah, no, can't. Definitely can't break top 2. Yeah, exactly. We do need signings. Listen, everyone at United knows, and even rival fans can see from the outside that Ollie's not being backed properly. And unfortunately, I do fear for Ollie. If he doesn't get backed, I think first of all, if Ollie doesn't get backed, we should be focusing all of our anger at the board, in my opinion, not at Ollie, because if he doesn't get backed, what can he do? What can he realistically do? And Enzo says Van der Beek and Neres should do for United probably 2 deals within 100 million. I'm not. Look, if we could get Neres, I don't know. I don't see that one happening. But yes, Kasim, mate, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think Super should just look at his own club. Like, they finished 8th. You're not in the Champions League, bro. Like, the Champions League is for the people that are the top teams in Europe. You're not the top teams in Europe. So sit down and enjoy your 8th, mate. Honestly, sit down and enjoy your 8th. Okay, go do one.
Well, there you go. That's pretty damning.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gareth, I tell you what, linked to Manchester United. I mean, obviously there were some people saying that the links were completely false. We never actually really went in for him.
No.
Some people saying we
did.
Never
really went in for him, to be honest. If I'll be honest, it was late. It was late interest. You get it all the time with most deals. It's pretty much, to sum it up, it was like what happened with Bruno Fernandes, where there was this late interest from Barcelona. That's just as much. If Man United were that serious about a player such as like Gabriel, they would have gone in there at the exact same time that Arsenal did. Going at last minute. Let's be honest. So, but no, if I'll be honest, probably tomorrow, Gabriel will definitely sign for Arsenal. That's for sure. There's not any late takeover hijacking from any club. He will be an Arsenal player.
Yeah, I saw he was at the training ground and everything today, potentially, doing a medical and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, okay. Obviously, the main guy right now, the guy who's been buzzing off social media right now, the guy that's just the news that has come out has rocked the football world. Lionel Messi. For my opinion on it, I just can't see it happening. I think it's I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they sacked the guy Bartomeu, whatever his name is. As I say, I butchered his pronunciation there, but I think you probably know who I'm referring to. They sacked that guy, and I think Messi probably stays. I reckon this is probably all an act. I really do think it's all an act. I've heard that he does want to leave, but I wouldn't be surprised if he stays. And they sack the guy that they want to get sacked, and they start changing things. But is there a possibility, Tom, of what you've been told, or if you've been told anything at all, or even in your opinion, that Messi comes back to the Premier League, and if he does, will he be wearing red?
Well, what I've been told is pretty much the details. I've been told the details of the contract and possible places where he can go. I'll just give a little bit of a brief. Pretty much inserted in Lionel Messi's contract. This was basically Barcelona's part of the deal. They wanted a £700 million release clause. Well, euros release clause put into his contract. And from the Lionel Messi side, he wanted it's something being inserted in his contract where at the end of every season he has the legal objection to terminate his contract with the club, which would then make him a free agent. And pretty much that's what they agreed on. Barcelona wanted something in his contract, which was a €700 million release clause. And Lionel Messi wanted it where he had an objection if he ever wanted to terminate the contract at the end of the season and move sticks, he can do that. And pretty much all I can say is that the situation is very toxic at the moment. Lionel Messi and Ronald Koeman met in person and had a meeting. The meeting didn't go well. Pretty much he outlined the plans to Messi for the future and stated that players such as Luis Suarez and Arturo Vidal, who are close friends and play pretty much side by side in the Barcelona team and have done for a couple of years now, were not a part of Ronald Koeman's plans. And he didn't initially like anything about Ronald Koeman's plans. He grew into the conversation a bit more when he talked about, possibly youngsters coming in and maybe making an impact, such as Ansu Fati, but it didn't really interest Messi that much. And pretty much everything that's been talked about right now about that he wants to leave and that he's made his mind up already.
Who wouldn't?
It's bang on. It's bang on 100%. Messi has been spoken about by two clubs that I currently know about now. And he has been talked about by a couple of clubs in the region of the Arab Emirates and in the region of America. But the main two at the moment that are being talked about is Manchester City and PSG. And the reason why that is they have the money, they have the financial gains to afford him. Not in terms of paying €700 million. Nobody's going to pay €7 million for Messi. But if the termination does come in his contract, which makes him a free agent, it's a case of who can afford his wages and who can afford to play a player over nearly €1 million a week. It's very slim clubs that can pay that really at the moment, not just in the current climate. But I'd probably put, if I had to put a rating probably on Messi coming to Manchester United, it'd probably be, I'll be a little bit naive. I'll probably say maybe a 2 out of 10 because it's that unlikely at the moment, you know. But a player like Lionel Messi, I think his future's been questioned for probably the past year now because, he's hitting the age of 33. He's probably only got another year or two worth of quality left in him, and then he's turning 35, 36, got to think. But, pretty much everything that's been spoken about right now. But there is going to be a major decision. It's either Messi is going to go or the president is going to go, like you said, and there's obviously presidential elections. I wouldn't something I'd probably put my money on that this will probably be taken to a court in Catalonia, if I'm being honest. and that Lionel Messi will come and say, look, you're doing all this about plans and everything. I don't like those plans. I want out. And then Barcelona are going to come with, right, well, we've got 700 million release clause. Messi's going to come with that. And it's going to pretty much be a case like what's happened with Harry Maguire. And it's who's going to win it, But to be honest with you, Lionel Messi probably leaving Barcelona. It depends on what happens in the next couple of days will probably determine if it happens or not. Because Lionel Messi, like I've said already, will demand probably over €1 million a week in a contract. And I've stated two clubs that can probably afford that. In the two clubs that are in Europe, PSG and Messi, PSG and Messi, bloody hell, PSG and Manchester City.
Yeah.
But I just think that him probably leaving is very unlikely. There's more of a likelihood that the president would probably go. There's obviously been the managerial change. There's been the technical director's change. The only real major change that needs to happen then is either Messi needs to go or the president needs to go. And ultimately, let's be honest, we know this from at Manchester United. It's easier to get rid of, say, the player in this instance than get rid of the people upstairs.
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
You're sacking one person rather than sacking about 5 people. Regardless of if it's Lionel Messi or if it's Will Grigg, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
I just think that obviously from the perspective of what I've actually heard and everything, I'll hear more in the next couple of days and whatnot. But right now, if you're a Barcelona fan, it doesn't look too good. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't. Welcome, by the way, Trans MEFC. Thanks for joining, mate. What's up, bro? Long time no see. Would participate more, but being a bio major is a madness. Yeah, man, don't worry about it. I know a struggle. But yeah, obviously education's more important than watching this, so don't worry at all, mate. Don't worry at all. He also says, don't know how Harry Maguire got himself into that position, but I'm hearing he might now come back for some time now. I don't know. I mean, obviously, earlier in the stream we talked a bit about the Harry Maguire situation. I think he's still available to play for Manchester United and all that stuff, so I feel like that's all fine. It's just, obviously, he's been given a suspended sentence, and that's obviously subject to an appeal. So there's still a long way to go in this Harry Maguire case. It's not all finalised and stuff like that. So, but I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the coming days and weeks and stuff. Sifo says, you guys are getting baited by the media. The only reason United and Messi rumours are about because they know that any United rumours get clicked. And you know what? I think there is probably truth to that in terms of United rumours do get clicks. It's 100% fact, 100% fact. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, some people are saying we have the money for it, but then if we don't have the money for Sancho, how do we have the money for Messi? Enzo says, this is Messi's wage packet at Barcelona according to Football Leaks. I'm just going to say 60 million euros, basic yearly wages, 988,000 a week. Yeah, that's mental. That is absolutely mental, that. I wouldn't, personally, I'm going to ask Kasim this actually, but my personal opinion is, I wouldn't pay that much for Lionel Messi, to be honest with you. And the wages, it would just completely destroy our whole wage structure. And is Lionel Messi at 33 worth it? It's an interesting debate question. But for me, I just think with what we're doing right now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Messi doesn't really fit into that, in my opinion. But Kasim, mate, what are your thoughts? Obviously, Tom talked about the Lionel Messi rumours and how likely they were, or more likely, not likely. What are your thoughts then, Kasim? Do you think Messi would be a good fit for Manchester United? And do you think this deal has any chance of happening at all?
Sorry, Kieran, I just woke up. No chance. I don't know why people are saying this. I don't understand why people are saying this is Messi, Manchester United's chance, because it's not gonna happen. I wouldn't get him. Apparently Ronaldo's unhappy at Juve, but it looks like he'll stay. If we wouldn't get Sancho, if we didn't get what's his name again, Messi, I'd go for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ooh.
I'd go for Cristiano Ronaldo. Buy him. Easy 50 million. Easy 50 million.
Do you reckon we've got enough to pay his wage packet though? I'm sure he's on decent wages at Juventus. Do you reckon we have enough to pay his
400
wages?
grand a week. I think we can pay it. 500 grand a week. I think.
I mean, listen.
Why not?
Listen. I mean, I've had dreams of
I'm telling you, Kieran,
Ronaldo
if
and
Ronaldo
Messi coming
came-
back.
Now, if Ronaldo came, Manchester would easily win the Premier League.
I'm sure we'd get
Yeah.
close. We'd definitely get close, 100%, 100%. But the
Ronaldo,
idea,
Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Ronaldo, easy title winners.
oh yeah, listen.
Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi are those players that can single-handedly win you a trophy.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
No, actually not Messi. Ronaldo. Messi's a fraud.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. To be fair, hasn't won a Champions League since 2015, and
Xavi in that.
can't do it without Iniesta and Xavi. But anyway, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. But no, he's a brilliant player. He's a brilliant player.
No, keep speaking.
But obviously,
Kieran, preach.
but obviously, yeah, you've talked about Messi there, and I just feel like I 100% agree that I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't see it happening. I think, if anyone's going to get him, for me, I would go with Man City, and how that's scary. The idea of Messi going to Man City, because it'd be ropes for us. Liverpool are playing so well. Man City would have
But he
Messi
could
in their
flop.
team. Well, but
And
then
the funny,
when you've got,
Yeah.
he'd be linking up with Pep again, and we know how dangerous the duo of Pep and Messi is.
and the funny
what?
thing is, right? The other day, you might have seen it that one of the directors of Manchester City actually came out and said we're going to make some big moves in the market, and then the following day, this hole breaks out.
Yeah.
There's big holes, and obviously there's still, but there's a lot. There is some deals that are being talked about, obviously, with such as Manchester United. Such as I know a lot of people are having meltdowns about why is David Brooks being talked about? People like that. I could give maybe a little bit of comfort in saying that David Brooks is a target, but he's not that high of a target.
He's trash.
Yeah, and obviously
Don't sugarcoat it,
obviously-
Kesson.
and obviously, I did hear one thing, and that was if you might have seen it all over Twitter and stuff, but I got it broken today this morning and stuff about Koulibaly. And what actually happened about Koulibaly was pretty much the president came out and said Koulibaly will be sold this summer. It just depends who gives us the money that we want. Now, obviously, I think a club that has been spoken about a lot is such as Manchester City, because they are in the hunt for some defenders at the moment. Likewise, say Manchester United and other clubs are obviously going to be interested in players. But, at the moment, with regarding Manchester United, like I say, with such as the deal, such as Sancho and stuff, it's now or never. The quote that happened the other day was perfect. Yeah, go on, Cassim, go on.
I wouldn't mind if Man City gave Messi and Koulibaly though.
Yeah, but all I'm going to say
They wouldn't develop their young players, and plus Messi and Thingy are getting old as well.
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm saying is because the president came out and stated that straight away that if you want to talk about Kalidou Koulibaly, go and ask Manchester United and Manchester City. They were the two Premier League clubs that were named there, and I don't really get why you would come out with a statement stating, go and ask Manchester City and Manchester United if there's not some sort of weight to it. There is talks and conversations happening behind closed doors that are being talked about. Some that I can disclose, some that I can't disclose. But if it's anything major, like Sancho or something, obviously I'm going to speak about it because a lot of people want to know what's going on. But like I say, the quote came out the other day about. Yeah, I'll answer your question, because the quote came out the other day about Jadon Sancho, and it's now or never. And I actually tweeted that a couple of weeks ago. If you go back and look at my tweets, I stated about the deal was in the stage of now or never, really, because if the player doesn't join now, he's going to have offers queuing up for him next summer from teams that have got money there now. Barcelona don't have money at the moment. Real Madrid don't have money. They're clubs that will definitely target a player like Sancho, because Real Madrid need to replace Cristiano Ronaldo. They still haven't done that. Barcelona might need to replace Lionel Messi. And this is the thing, it's all circling around right now. And that's why the quote of it's now or never is very true. But the only thing I say is it's very much like the Harry Maguire deal. but there's been no bids at the moment. There's 41 days left. It's just a case of watch this space really and wait and see.
What's the transfer of Sancho happening?
What did you say, Caston? I didn't hear you for a
What's
second.
the chances of him coming?
What do you mean?
10.
You want me to rate it?
Yeah.
Tom's transfer rater. We should do a weekly segment. Tom's transfer rater.
Probably, if we speak about it now, it couldn't change in a blink of an eye. So I'd probably say the chances of it happening now are probably 4 to 10, really, if I'm being honest, on a scale of 1 to 10.
I guess no more Sancho talk. Let's move on.
Well, go on, Cassim.
I've said it right. Sancho's a good player, but I don't think he would stay for 10 years. I think he'd move to Madrid easy next 2 years. The player I would look out, if I was Manchester United, the player I would look out for. I'd go out for Kylian Mbappe.
We can all dream. We can all dream, Cassim.
Get a deal done. Manchester United get a deal done, I think, for Mbappe. We can swap Pogba for Mbappe and sell Pogba and get him cheaper. Honestly, see, let's be honest, boys. We all know Rashford's better than Mbappe, but what I'd do a Rashford and Mbappe left and right, bro, that would kill football. And if Mbappe came, then nobody would talk about Messi coming to City. They talk about Mbappe to United. Mbappe's a better player than Sancho, and Rashford's a better player than Mbappe. So both of them, Rashford and Mbappe, linking up, that would basically be like Ronaldo and Messi. I see this guy called Enzo in the chat saying, "Why want to go for PSG?"
Enzo is obviously you can just respond whatever.
Link up with Neymar, obviously, bro, and PSG have a decent squad. Let's be honest, I think Manchester United and PSG first teams. I think United are better, but I think PSG overall, like, full team is better than us.
So, Cassim,
Kieran.
Go on, mate. Sorry. Go.
Yeah, ask me a last question because I need to go. Then I need to do some stuff. But yeah, go on.
I was just going to say I'm probably going to wrap up pretty well soon anyway. But I was just going to say, obviously, you say there that PSG have got a good squad. Why would Mbappe want to leave a good squad?
For a project, because PSG will never win the Champions League ever.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if they keep going on like they did against Bayern Munich, to be fair, they play a very good Bayern Munich side and miss chances. But maybe they're just cursed. I don't know. But I feel like if they can just add to their team and stuff, I feel like they will win it at some point. Because I feel like obviously Barcelona and Real Madrid are falling off at the moment. Bayern Munich really are the big superpower now. They're the big team to beat. And I think there'll be English teams like Liverpool, Man City coming back into the fray. So who knows? Ooh. But I think PSG are definitely up there if they can keep Mbappe. But yeah, if they let Mbappe go and then obviously Neymar goes somewhere else, then yeah, they're starting to look pretty ropey. But Cassim, mate, I'll let you go. Obviously, if you need to do some stuff,
I'll give the link to my social so you can know. All right, follow me at United Fan Army 2, aka Talking United. So I'll tweet really often, really. Talking United YouTube, making the channel, everything's fun. Can't wait for the new season. Can't wait for us to smash people in the Champions League. And Sippo, next time talk to like, I don't know, Tottenham, okay, bro? You're not on our level. You're not with the big boys. These are the big boys. Even though I'm not a big boy, but still, this is the big boys, okay? Calm your horse down and stay in the Europa League for 4 years in a row fighting in Kazakhstan. Okay? Anyway, guys, thank you for having me on.
No worries,
mate. And I'll probably chat to you very soon, Kieran and Tom. And yeah, have a good day and have a good stream, man.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Cheers for coming on, Cassie, mate. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Kieran.
Go on, Tom.
Is there is there any rumours that you want to ask me? You can chuck any names in, and I'll probably have some sort of news on it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll think about that just as I read a few of the comments, but I will be thinking about that. Enzo says Mbappe might want to play under a big manager. What if he thinks that way? I think he will. I think Mbappe might want to go Real Madrid and be the next kind of Ronaldo character. If you believe that he had load of pictures of R9 Ronaldo or Cristiano Ronaldo on his wall as a kid. And LSR Pre-Links Live says cancel next season. Rap Eminem in a rap battle. Maybe you have a Jolly Roger. PS tons of sources are HP and Tom. Oh no, Tom mate, he's calling you out. He says PS Tom's sources are HP and Tommy K. Well, listen.
Well, I'm not being funny, right? If that's the case, then how have I got so many deals currently right now, right?
Hey,
I don't
facts.
really understand.
He's speaking facts. He's speaking facts.
I say, I've said about obviously stuff that's happened. I said about Lionel Messi a couple of minutes before it came out. And I don't really, if I didn't have all this, if I didn't have the work that I work for now, I wouldn't even know any of these things anyway. And if I didn't have information that was actually true or anything, why would I come in here and really embarrass myself? Let's be honest. I wouldn't really come in here just to chat a load of bull crap and talk a load of nonsense really just to redirect fans. And if you don't believe me, you'll probably hear it from somebody else who's more maybe credible. If you don't believe someone like me, you might hear it from someone like Romano, who's pretty much speaking the exact same as me, just in different words. So I'm not really bothered about that. Or my name isn't as big out there as other people. That's somewhere for me to aim for. And if I want to aim that high, I've got to put the work in, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. And if I can get up to that level, of such as say somebody as Romano, it's very unlikely, but everybody can dream, like you've always said. But no, if I can't disclose anything about obviously work and stuff because there's details that can be disclosed and details that can't. But anything that I can say, I'm going to say to you. I won't come on here and say about Jadon Sancho or anything, if I wasn't going to be truthful and honest about it, because you probably search it up on the internet somewhere, you probably find it somewhere anyway. So true, if you don't want to believe me, then don't believe it. So
yeah. Obviously, you're gonna have your critics, aren't you? I mean, he says I think he's come round to it. He says, "I hear you, boss. You're like a kids' club Romano." I'm not sure if he'd take that as a compliment or not. I don't know, but we'll leave that there. He also says,
that's fine.
He says, Itiferi did say one day you'll get there, you've got something about you. So there you go, he's ending on a positive note there. But I agree, mate. But the final thing I want to ask you, because I'm going to wrap this up, but you asked for names. Now, I don't know specific names, but what I do know is obviously with the Jadon Sancho transfer being a bit on edge at the moment, Man United, I want to ask, are Man United looking at alternatives that you know of in that position? And if no, do you know of any names which United are looking at in that position?
A couple of weeks ago, yes, there was a list of 4 players that was on a list. This was when that came out about Michael Zorc and the Dortmund directors and stuff. If you go back on my Twitter page, you'll probably find where I've been talking about alternatives and stuff. The 4 targets were Kingsley Coman, Ousmane Dembele. What was the other one? I can't remember what the other one was. There was one that I can't remember, and the other one was, what was his name now? I forget a lot of names because I'm speaking about a lot of players at the moment.
Yeah, of course, I understand. Yeah.
But anyway, with Ousmane Dembele, that completely got shot out of the water by the president. Really, he stated players that aren't going to leave, and Ousmane Dembele was one of them. And I think at a club like Barcelona, when they say that, they mean it. Maybe at a club like Dortmund, where they've gone back on the word before with other deals when they've sold, such as Dembele and Aubameyang, you can't really trust them. But that's all I see in terms of that. Kingsley Coman is probably the most reliable target that, if you would want to say an alternative. But right now, if they probably didn't sign Jadon Sancho, I don't think they would go for anybody else because I think they would just wait the next season to try and get him again, the next summer. But the likelihood of him signing this summer, I've already said, is on a scale of 1 to 10. As of right now, it's a 4 to 10. But in football, we know these things. Things can change in a blink of an eye. It doesn't take long. You look at, say, for example, what happened with David Silva. David Silva was on his way to Lazio. Within a blink of an eye, he's a Real Sociedad player, you know. So
exactly,
anything can happen. But no, I'll just say this, you know, Jadon Sancho is obviously the prime target this summer, but there is targets in other areas. You know, clubs speak a lot. You know, like Louis van Gaal came out and said, I wanted players such as Neymar, and I wanted this player, Mane, I wanted that. You know, did he end up getting them? No. But behind the scenes, he gets talked about. Like I said about Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek might not become a Manchester United player, but that doesn't mean it's not being talked about. You know, and this is what I mean. I'm not going to, you know, come up with, you know, just crap out of nowhere. You know, otherwise I'm some psychopath or something that knows all this intellectual knowledge. You know, I obviously have ways and means of getting things.
Yeah.
You know, I get email drops and you go through it all. But I can't really put a time frame on it, to be honest, because there's still 41 days left of the window, so a deal can still happen. You know, but like I said, these deals take time. You know, it's mega money. You know, 100 odd million pounds currently right now is very hard to feasibly pay. You know, whether it's you pay in instalments or you pay straight up. You know, but I'd just say it's very similar to what happened with Harry Maguire. Whether the same outcome will happen, we'll wait and see. But obviously, I think something that's not been talked about as much, and I'll just leave it on this note really, Kieran, is a lot of people have actually asked me about, do I know anything about Paul Pogba and the contract situation?
Oh, yeah,
and stuff
of course,
that's actually happening. You know, and somebody messaged me privately and they said, right, so with Paul Pogba, what's the situation? Because they messaged me straight after the Sevilla game and they said, I saw your tweet and everything where you said after the Twitter game, you know, after the Sevilla game, there's going to be some sort of talks going to take place between Manchester United and Paul Pogba. And then, quite frankly, you know, just to put my reliability out there, then just so happened that a week ago, you know, a week after the tweet, Mino Raiola came out and said that Paul Pogba was going to be staying at Manchester United and there is going to be some sort of talks over an extension. You know, so I do have knowledge in football. I do have knowledge not just in Manchester United but in other clubs, and Paul Pogba is a main focus really this summer. You know, he's not out of contract as of right now. He's not going to be out of contract next summer, so you've got time to work with it. But the information is this: he's happy at Manchester United. He likes the project that Solskjaer's put in place. It's basically like what's happened with Lionel Messi, but in the opposite direction. He's happy. He likes the project. He likes the manager, and he likes the sort of names that are being tossed out at the moment. You know, such as Jadon Sancho and stuff. It's exciting, but there's nothing concrete as of yet. But talks are going to be underway within the next couple of weeks and stuff. Like Mino Raiola said, you know, talks are going to happen, and I would definitely expect an agreement will be reached. You know, and possibly, who knows, maybe he might be the captain at Manchester United. Maybe if he pens that, so he might want to get the pen out and do it quite quickly.
Yeah, I think the quicker the better, really. And obviously we've been talking about Harry Maguire. I think actually it's a good place to end, really, because it's come full circle, hasn't it? But with Paul Pogba staying, obviously, and if he commits his future, you'd like to think that if Maguire was relieved of his duties as captain, Pogba would probably be the first person, you know, ready to step up there and take it on. But obviously he has to commit his future first. And if he does commit his future, I think that will also just give a bit more stability to the team overall. But we'll see what happens in that case. Enzo finally says not every time spending hundreds of millions will win unless will basically make it successful unless it's Pep or someone who can handle the big egos. Ego plays a bigger game than clubs these days. Yeah, obviously you have to have managers that can manage the players, because when someone's bought,
and that's what makes them great managers.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
Guardiola did it with Messi. You know, you could probably Ferguson did it with Ronaldo. You know, this is what makes you a great manager. You know, Arteta's doing it with Aubameyang at the moment. You know, and Pep's doing it with such as De Bruyne at Manchester City. So this is what makes you one of the best, if not a great manager, in the long run and grand scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly. Like man management. I think, you know, people saying Sir Alex Ferguson, that was one of his best traits, man management. And it's not just about having the best players in the world. You've got to be able to manage them and put them into formations and And especially in this day and age, it's not the day and age where you can, put the boot in at full time, give them the hairdryer. They're not going to respond well to that. So you've got to change your methods and stuff. But yeah, I think it's a decent comment. Good comment from Inzo. Metal, I heard an audible bit of excitement there from Tom. Tom, mate, I mean,
it's not really exciting if it's Manchester United.
Oh, true.
I wish it was something about James Sancho. That maybe might.
That would be what an end to the stream. That would be unbelievable. Just breaking news on James Sancho. But yeah,
Carlo Ancelotti at Everton has made an offer to Real Madrid for James Rodriguez, and Real Madrid are currently looking at the bid and are very feasible to accept the bid at the moment. So James Rodriguez might be off to Everton.
Might not be a bad signing for them. Might not be a bad signing at all, to be fair, linking up with Ancelotti. But yeah, other clubs signing players, and to be fair, that's probably the most apt way to end it. With other clubs seemingly getting players and we are getting nothing. Harry Maguire's in jail. Our captain's have been released from jail, has been found guilty today. That is where we are as a club right now. Hopefully it gets better. It's got to get better, surely. But anyway, Tom, always great to have you on. Thank you so much for providing your insight. And yeah, appreciate it, mate.
No
Where can they find you on social media if they want to find you?
I will just get my Twitter up now. Hold on 1 second. Right. So my Twitter handle is Tom, capital T, lowercase om, 809199654, and that's just pretty much where you can find me. And if anybody just doubts what I've just said about James Rodriguez there, well, I've just got the email. You might see a tweet from Fabrizio Romano just stating that James Rodriguez is also off to Everton. So I do hear things quite early before maybe other people do. So I don't necessarily believe why people would necessarily doubt with what I say at the moment, because obviously I'm not going to come out with crap about it and everything, but at the moment that like I say, that's where you can find me. And if you want any updates on any kind of players, it doesn't have to be a Manchester United player, it can be anything from maybe even Championship players. I might hear some things, but anyway, that's where you can find me and whatnot. And I'll probably set up some more social media accounts, such as Instagram and a couple of other things if you want to contact me via that.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. As I said, make sure you check him out, guys, if you haven't already. Great stuff. Thanks for coming on, Tom, mate. Appreciate it. And have a good rest of your evening, pal.
Yeah, you too as well, Kieran.
See you later, pal. That was Tom giving his thoughts. But guys, thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. We've talked about a lot of stuff today. Hopefully, instead of talking about Harry Maguire, we'll be talking about something positive. Maybe Messi will sign. Who knows? He won't, but you can always hope. Thanks for watching.
Yes, you will.
Nurse, I told you, get him out. Anyway,
Mercy.
thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a bit.